I like this better, right?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Potential Unlocked. I am Bradley Schneller, owner and CEO of Stack Coaching. I have with us one of our coaches, also one of the strongest men in the world, one of the fastest men in the world, one of the best photographers in the world, one of the best drone pilots of the world.
I do a lot of things.
You do a lot of things. Gerald G-Force Green. What's up, Gerald?
What's going on, man?
So I've had you on the show before, Gerald, and we always give you like the litany of accomplishments.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't want to go over all that today.
All right.
But you have recently had some new accomplishments.
Yes.
What have you done?
Well, 2022 was a great year. I will say that I've broken over 48 state records in powerlifting in 2 federations and 3 American records and 2 world records. So, yeah, I'm killing it in deadlift and powerlifting.
Okay, so you were recently at Mr. Olympia?
Yes.
You won.
I won.
Yeah. Won. What was your bracket? Is it Masters or?
So Olympia was open, so I was just 165 category in general. Yeah, and I won, and against everybody, so it's not just masters at this point; it's everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. So what was your total, and then what were your lifts?
My total was 1388. It was probably one of my lowest totals of the year because I was sick.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
I was sick. But I squatted 463, benched 324, and I broke the deadlift world record, which was 600.
Incredible.
At 159 body weight.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So I guess what I want to dive into is, because this show is Potential Unlocked, all right? Okay. I want to talk about mindset and then what it takes for you to train for something like this. So first of all, let's start with mindset. What does your mindset have to be? Not only to gear up for the competition itself, but to put yourself through training every day.
So I hate losing. I mean, you already know this. I absolutely hate losing. And the funny part of that is people would ask me, well, I mean, are you lonely? This is a lonely life. And I'm like, well, losing is worse. I'd rather be a lonely and a loser, but instead of being a loser, right?
Right.
So every day, I'll wake up with the goal in mind with the goal to win, right? So anytime I win anything, I would always put my medals on the side. Matter of fact, they're like away from me as if I didn't win anything. Mm-hmm. And I'll have every record on my wall that I haven't broken yet. So every time I wake up every day, I'm looking at the records I haven't broken yet.
So it's funny you say that, okay? It makes me think of, University of Georgia just won the college football national championship.
Yes.
They just blasted TCU 65-7.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they were like a consensus top 3 pick to start the season.
Yeah.
So they were interviewing all the Georgia players after the game. And everybody was talking about the Georgia players, how disrespected they were, and no one thought they could win, and people thought they were going to be 6-6 and 7-5 or whatever, which is malarkey. That didn't exist.
Right.
No one thought that, but coach told them that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks you're terrible. No one thinks you're going to win. People are thinking this, and they put blinders on, and that's what they thought the whole season. And that made me think about you, because they won the national championship last year, okay? And so it's almost like they took all their accomplishments, flushed them down the toilet, started new, and had this mindset of, people think I suck.
You know what? That's a great game, right? What happens is you have a team like TCU. I'll say their national championship was against Michigan. It wasn't. They were
Georgia,
just happy
to be there.
They were just happy to be in that game, right? Georgia's whole mentality was, I'm winning the national championship.
Yeah.
Not I'm getting there.
Right.
So you'll have a team that's going to get up every day knowing that their goal is the championship, not getting to the championship. And so they played like it. They absolutely played like it, but that was because you can tell who had different mentalities throughout the whole training year. TCU, no one thought they would be there.
Yeah.
I don't even believe they thought they would be there. Right. Let's be real, right? And it just so happened that the bracket fell. They won the games they were supposed to win.
So,
and there you go.
judging by what we're talking about, judging by what you said, okay, it's almost if we rise to the bar that we set.
Yes.
We can only go as high as the bar we set.
Yes.
So if your bar isn't the national championship, you don't have a good chance of getting there. If your bar isn't winning Mr. Olympia, you don't have a chance to get there.
No. So my bar is,
or at least you're not training that way.
My bar is my worst should break records. So in practice every day, if I had a bad day, I've at least picked up 600 pounds, which is the world record, right? So it's not just winning championships for me, because that's supposed to happen. That's the mindset. It's what's past that, right? And so you can't get comfortable, because there's always, for me, always a record to break.
Yeah.
And so I was just saying this a few days ago. The best thing that happened to me as an adult was finding master sports.
Yeah.
Because it gives me something to shoot for on a daily basis. At Olympia, there was a 60-year-old man who opened with 635.
Wow.
In deadlift.
Deadlift.
He opened. Now he's 220 pounds, but he's 60, and he opened with 635. And I think he ended up doing 750 deadlift and failed at an 8. But I told him, I said, man, 20 years from now, I'm going to break your deadlift record. So I got, I got 20 years that this is going to be etched in my mind.
Yeah.
That at 60, I have to break this guy's record, which is 750 at this point.
Yeah.
But that's going to allow me to be able to train for something for the next 20 years. So it's not going to get stale.
I love that. I want to point out, for those of you listening, Gerald is a professional athlete.
Yes.
Okay. How old are you? 43?
44. I'm going on 42 in March.
42?
Yeah, in March. Going on 42. March 25th, I turned 42.
All right, 42. March
25th.
Allegedly. No, but, all right, so Gerald started 42 in March, okay? He is a professional athlete, all right? He trains like a professional athlete. He recovers like a professional athlete. His entire life is geared towards these things.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I know what your social life is like.
Right.
It is definitely geared towards setting world records.
Yes.
Okay, it's not geared to like having fun on the weekends, things like that. You're training. Okay, Gerald is always training. And I want to point that out is because like I want to separate, and like I want people to live at their best, right? And your story is incredible, but it is different from someone that's just training to be fit and healthy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Whereas you're trying to balance a 9-to-5 job, kids, all that other stuff. Gerald does have kids. Gerald does train people, but Gerald is also training for sport. Right?
Two sports,
right? And so like I want to point that out, and there's a big difference in that. But let's get back to that. So you have track events coming up. What do you have?
Well, I open against LSU in 2 days on the 14th. That's my first indoor track meet, and the World Championships is in Poland in March 25th. I'm going to give myself a World Championship gold medal.
All right.
That's what I do for myself. And on March 10th is the National Indoor Championships in Kentucky. Okay. So yes, it's full-blown track season right now for me.
All right. So mindset around now training each day. What does that look like?
So I always want to get better. Being very consistent at a high level, always being consistent is the main thing. Now I'm listening to my body. So
we've talked a lot about that.
Right. If I feel like, okay, maybe you need a extra active recovery day, it's never just doing anything. So, but I always want to be consistent, and I always want to be healthy. So I'm definitely listening and taking care of my body now, but you have to put your good foot forward every day to say you're going to be better.
Now, getting better in the world of powerlifting day by day, right? That doesn't always mean you get to lift more every single day.
No.
That's really difficult when you get to the level that Gerald's at. Like maybe between this year and next year, gaining 10 pounds on your bench press is phenomenal.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So what does getting better every day look like? Is it quality of reps, technique, total reps, volume? What does it look like to you? Does the lift feels better? Those types of
It's
things.
feeling better. For me, everything is feel. So I'll have, let's say if I'm trying to work up to a decent top set, and that's just me trying to work up to, let's say for bench press, I always try to work up to about 335. Now, I've done 375 and I've done 340 in competition already. But if I can work up to 335, the way it feels to get there will allow me to know if I'm having a good day or not. Right? If going to 300 feels a little weird, then maybe you shouldn't push the 335 mark. So I'm feeling myself through my warm-ups to know what type of day it's going to be, and then I can adjust accordingly. So now it's really training smarter, right? You still want to train your nervous system to be able to get ready to explode on a daily basis, but you want to be smart about everything that you do.
Yeah, so let me ask about that. So, and again, this goes back to being better every day, because I always talk to people, especially in nutrition, that progress isn't linear. It's got peaks and valleys.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I would imagine the same thing for training for sport has peaks and valleys. So, is better sometimes mean your bad days are better than the previous bad days? Like your floor gets higher.
No, actually, to be honest with you.
All right, I'm interested to know. Tell me.
So better for me, let's say just in a training sense.
Because you have bad days.
I do have bad days. It just so happened that my bad days are still world record days for me.
Gerald is a super humble guy.
I just, like I had a bad day the other day, right? But I lift 600. But so I did 600 2 days ago. I deadlift 600. The fact that I needed to go into a place of aggression to get there versus I just want to casually pick it up.
Gotcha.
Was considered not such a great day for me,
right?
Even though it came up, or even being sick. Me being able to go into Olympia knowing I was going to break the deadlift world record. Well, I knew the deadlift world record was 573 at the time, and I was hitting 575 on my worst days. Like after the flu, my first day back, I hit 575. So for me, my worst day was still better than the world record at the time.
Yeah.
So now getting through a training session healthy, I have no nicks, no pains, no anything, is what is considered a successful day for me, good or bad. I can always go to, you're healthy.
Oh, I love it.
I did rack pulls yesterday with 815 pounds.
Wow.
And the fact that I'm even able to have no pain, no soreness, I'm walking fine. That's what makes me know, okay, you are really progressing at a great pace because you're healthy. Yeah.
What does your training regimen look like for powerlifting, for competition?
So right now, well, when I'm in competition, when I'm in that season.
Yeah, let's training out of season and then training in season.
So when I'm training in season, I'm lifting 6 days a week, and I'm doing each lift, twice a week. So I'm out 6 days on, and even that one day off is always an active recovery, right? But that would be me fully dedicating that one day to active recovery. I'm always doing recovery things every day. During track season, I'll dial it to 3 days of powerlifting, lightweight, and 3 days of running. I don't really have to do a lot of running right now because I've been running for 28 years almost.
Right. Is it for the running? Is it getting into track shape?
Yes.
So it's like switching from powerlifting, getting into track shape. Do you have to shed weight at all?
No. I'm my lightest I've ever been powerlifting, which is kind of weird because the perception is you're going to get bigger, the stronger you get. But with powerlifting, you have to make weight. And so naturally, I'm about 165. I walk around about 170. But during track season, before I even started powerlifting, sometimes I was 175, 180 just running. Because it didn't matter as long as you win.
Right. So what does that look like, the switch going from powerlifting to track season?
It's mental. everyone can attest that strength training is fun. Running sucks.
Running does suck.
And
I ran with Gerald for a whole year, maybe a little bit longer than that. It sucks.
Yes. And the biggest thing about it is there's no shape like track shape. I don't care what you do. When it's time for you to get on the track, you're going to feel that you're not in track shape. Having to go through that is the hardest thing.
I think track training is like a pain you've never experienced before.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
It's brutal.
Oh, 600s. When you have a 600 or even a 400 up on call, it's like, you know what? You can feel the pain just looking at the number. Before you even start running, your body is anticipating what it's going to feel like.
Does it require more recovery from track than it does from powerlifting?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't get
also, you have to protect
anymore.
against injury a little bit more, right? I feel like powerlifting, like there's less of a risk of injury than track.
So for track,
especially for explosiveness,
right? Starting off, especially when you're switching from different sports, you have to really worry about those soft tissue, hamstring injuries, quad pulls. So that's when it requires for me to do a lot of warming up. So for the first 2-3 weeks of training, I'm only doing drills to get my body just used to the motion of running before I even jump out on the track.
Yeah. How long is your warm up for track?
45 minutes an hour. It's long.
You heard that, y'all.
It's long.
And a lot of that's injury prevention, but not only injury prevention, but to also be at your peak explosion when you start training.
Yes, and here's
your training session.
And here's the thing with that, right? For track, if you're trying to teach a person form or a technique, it's repetitive. So you do all of your mechanics during your warm-up, and that's why you do all the drills. You can't really just tell someone, hey, I'm going to have you go run, and I'm going to teach you how to run, and then you're going to run a 400. You're so tired, your body's going to revert back to what you're doing anyway. So you want to constantly do proper form through your warm-up drills. And so that's just a diagnostics for me. So yeah, I'll do a whole hour. Sometimes if it's in season, like if I'm at a meet, it'll be about an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. So Joe, you train kids in sports, you train high school athletes, you train college athletes, you train NFL athletes, you help people get ready for the NFL Combine, you help people get ready for college, to get recruited. What is one thing that all the top athletes share?
Well, they all can't run, to be honest with you. No matter what age or level you are, if you haven't been taught properly how to run, it's going to show. So everyone starts off with the basics, right? But they all have a burning desire to want to be better.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. You can tell an attitude who wants it and who doesn't, right? So I have the no nonsense, no excuse approach. And this goes with anyone who's trying to do any goal, no matter what it is. I'll say if your excuses is weighs more than your goals, then you don't really want your goals. So it doesn't matter what. Me going after a world record in anything, I don't have an excuse because that's what I absolutely want. If a person is truly trying to lose weight or trying to get in shape, if that's truly what you want to do, then there shouldn't be any excuses because you can always go back to what you absolutely want to do.
Yeah, I say this all the time. I said you have to be ready, willing, and able to create change in your life in order to have change.
Do you know how many people want change but don't want to change, but they want the change itself?
Yeah, all the time. The time. It's like people think that, hiring you to teach them to run is going to make them faster.
Right.
No, you're going to show them what they need to do in order to make faster, but they have to do the work. You can hire me to do your nutrition, and I will show you everything you ever need to know, habits, stuff, in order to do the nutrition. But unless you're willing to do the work every single day, change is not going to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everyone looks for the excuse first, right? I'm writing a book. I don't know if you notice, I'm currently writing a book, right? And I'm going to do this to where it's like, I call it the book of G-Force.
I like it.
And it's going to be written like it should be in the Bible. Something, right? So like I would say like G-Force chapter 6, verse 12 would say, Excuses is like buttholes. Everyone has them and they stink. Right? Right?
I like it.
And then I'll have you now. I can go more explanation and explain what I mean by it. But it's true. You have so many. Everyone has a reason to not want to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and like these people who accomplish their goal, okay, create success, achieve what they want to achieve, unlock their full potential, okay, or maximize their potential.
Yes.
All those things, okay, they all have what you share, what Jamar shares in the NFL, Joe Burrow, those types of guys, Josh Allen, like all those guys, right? Like, what do they have? They do the work when it sucks. They do the work when no one's watching, and they get up out of bed and hammer it out when they're sore, when they don't feel good, when they don't want to do it, when it sucks. They're out there trying to create the change. And that's what just separates the top people in the world from everyone else.
I call it in spite of versus because of. I'll say in spite of this, I was able to, and then you list what you've done.
I love that.
Versus because of this, I couldn't do this. People live by excuses.
Yeah.
And if your goal far outweighs your excuse, you can accomplish anything. Everyone should get up with the notion of this is what I want to accomplish today.
I love that. I love that, y'all. Let's end there. In spite of, instead of
because of. Yes.
I like that. I like that. Okay. Gerald, where can people find you on social media?
gforce.green on Instagram.
Yeah.
And, you know, Gerald G. Green on Facebook. And, you know, I'm always going to be at Stack Coaching.
Yeah. And if you want to get in touch with Gerald to get some training to help you with speed work, powerlifting, or whatever, reach out to us at Stack Coaching, at Stack Coaching on Instagram, www.stackcoaching.com. My number's all over the internet. You can find it. All right, Gerald. Thanks, man.
No problem, man.
Stack, baby.